Here, here we are looking at an example where we have multi-level inheritance and also one class in her derived class invoking the constructor of a base class. So let us understand this program here. We have defined three classes: class A, class B, and class C. Class B inherits class A and class C inherits class B. So this is a classic example of multi-level inheritance. So at multiple levels, class inherits its previous class. So here class A is a base class and class B is derived class. When you consider these two, okay, that is class B is inheriting class A, so class A becomes base class and class B becomes derived class. In this case, class C is derived class and it inherits the properties of class B, and also it inherits the so indirectly it also inherits the class. So as class B inherits class A, so indirectly class C also inherits class A. Okay, so for class C the base class is class B. Okay, so you can figure all those things. Now let us see what happens here. Now from a main program I am creating an object and the name of the object is C. Now we know that a constructor is a special kind of function which gets invoked or which gets executed as soon as an object is created. So when I am creating an object called as C for class C, immediately your compiler comes here. Okay, so your compiler comes here and checks whether there is a constructor here or not. Yes, there is a constructor involved here, and to this we are passing three values. For n we are passing the value of 5. For d we are passing the value of 4.3, and for ch we are passing the character r. So these three values get passed to this constructor because a constructor gets invoked, or a constructor is executed as soon as a object is created of this particular class. So I am creating an object for class C, so this constructor gets executed first, and to this these three values are passed. But here you look at a new syntax. We are telling the compiler that before executing this constructor, invoke the constructor of the base class, that is the parent class of class C. So what is the base class for class C? Class B, right? So what I am doing is I am calling the constructor of the derived the base class. So immediately your compiler stops here. It stops its execution. It goes to the base class of class C and it executes the constructor of class B. Then what do we have a constructor of class B? Here we take two arguments, and here we are passing two arguments. So what are those arguments? I am passing 5 and 4.3 to the constructor of class B. So immediately your compiler comes here, it takes the value of n as 5 and it takes the value of d as 4.3. But wait, here also what I am doing is I am telling the compiler that before proceeding to execute the constructor here, I am calling another constructor of class A, that is the base class of class B. Okay, so because class B inherits all the properties of class A, right? So I am calling the constructor of the parent class. So immediately your program stops here. I call the constructor of class A and I pass the value 5 value to the constructor A. So immediately your compiler comes. You stop here. You stop your execution here. Your compiler comes here. So what is the value of n which we have? 5. Now there is nothing to be called here. So first constructor A gets executed. So what I am doing, I am printing the value n. So first 5 gets printed, Then what happens? Your constructor completes its execution. After your this constructor completes its execution, you again come back to the previous called constructor here. Then you execute this. Here what I'm doing, I'm printing the value. Here I have completed the execution of a of n, right? So now I have to execute b constructor. In b, what do I have? I am printing the value of d. So what is the value of d which I have? 4.3. So next 4.3 gets printed. Next, this constructor also completes its execution. I come back to my previous one. Here I have completed this one. That is, by printing 4.3, I have completed this. So next, what do I have? I have to execute constructor C here. So in constructor C, what I'm printing? I'm printing the value of CS. So what is the value of CS which I have? R. So this is your output. So here we have come across a new syntax, that is here we have a new syntax where we try to call the constructor of a base class, and the syntax for it is column, name of the constructor, and number of arguments which you pass to that constructor. Because here we have defined 2 arguments, we pass 2 values to this constructor. Similarly, that is, a derived class can invoke, the main concept which you have to understand here is a derived class can invoke the constructor of a base class. Okay, so this happens only because we have inherited the class B. Similarly, if I have not inherited class B, if I say b of n comma d, you will be getting a compiler error, because your compiler does not know what is b of n of d, because there is no such thing as b of n of d in this class, and also I have not inherited anything. This is an independent class. So as I had inherited the class B, this sentence becomes valid. So a derived class can invoke a constructor of its base class. Okay, so this is one of the multiple choice questions you might be getting, where you might be asked, can a derived class invoke the constructor of a base class? Yes, it can do, and this is an example for it. Okay, we'll talk about more examples in next video.